Starting with the coloring of memory drawing, you can start with skin color using yellow ochre and vermilion red. Make it watery, add some water to it like this. I'm using a 5 number brush. Once the wash is applied, then you have to start with the darker tones. So for the darker tones, I'm going to add some brown burnt sienna in it. Add a little burnt umber also for more darker tones. And then just add the dark tones on one side of the body. Next, you can change the color skin tone a little bit. I'm taking yellow ochre and carmine red, like this, watery. So this is a slightly different color tone, more fair skin. Now for the darker tone, I'm adding a little brown in this same color. Okay, next for this burnt sienna light wash. And then the dark tones will come like this. You have some skin tone left, then you can just apply it in the some of the figures like this. Now I'm going to start with the background. So I'm going to take a cerulean blue light wash like this in the sky area. Now this is the water area out here, so we'll do the same color. And apply it on the water part as well. Now here's a technique for you. Instead of leaving space for the fence, you can go on top of the fence like this. Later on you can color the fence with a darker shade. So that the coloring will be easier for you. Just making a few strokes like this since it's water. This way. Next we can start with the trees. We'll start with a regular green color tree. So I'm taking some emerald green. You can take any green, light green or viridian green or sap green also. So I'm going on top of these fruits, so you have to leave space for the fruit, just as we had not left space for the fence. And then for the darker tone, I'm taking this deep green color and making strokes like this for the dark tones and the tree texture. Like this. Now this tree I'm going to color it with a yellowish orangish color. So I'm taking chrome yellow this way, add a little water to it and start applying chrome yellow. Just be careful of the finishing little bit. Next I'm just taking orange color. If you don't have orange, you can always mix lemon yellow and vermilion red. This way. And then finally for more darker tones, I'm taking some burnt sienna and adding some dark strokes like this. Now I'm going to start coloring the clothes as well. So I'm going to take a smaller brush now. So this is vermilion red light wash I'm going to apply. It's not so light, so I'm just adding a little water to it. Just make sure you use up all the colors in your palette, in your color box, sorry, because you want to make it as colorful as possible. Okay, now for the dark tone of red, you're going to use burnt umber. So I'm just making a few strokes like this for the dark tones and let it dry naturally. Next I'm going to show blue color shots for him. So I'm taking this cobalt blue color. So you also have to keep in mind what is the color of the background going to be. Like for example, here this is all grass, so I know that it's going to be sap green lemon yellow color. So I'm not going to use sap green color for any of the clothes so that it will blend with the background. I don't want it to blend with the background. So I'm using slightly darker tones for the shadow effect. Next, for this guy's t-shirt, I can use lemon yellow. Then for the darker tone, I'm using yellow ochre. Like this. I'm just taking a shade of yellow ochre for the track pant he is wearing, like this. So it's not good to use primary and secondary colors everywhere. It should be a mix of both primary, secondary, as well as neutral colors. So I just made a little darker shade by adding little blue to it. Can rectify such small mistakes by just washing the brush. Now you can use pink color here, so I'm taking carmine red color, watery. For the darker tone, I'm using the same carmine red color. little dark. But I want it a little more dull tone, so I'm adding a little burnt umber to it. This way. Now here I want to use a grayish brownish color, so I'm going to take a little cobalt blue and I'm going to add brown color to it. So this is like a dark gray color. Once this is applied, then I'm just making a darker tone. Like this. Okay. Next we can now continue with the background. So I'm going to just do all the branches of the trees. So I'm just adding little burnt sienna in the dark color that I had made before. This way. Just adding a little raw sienna to it to change the color a little bit. Right. Now I'm going to start coloring these trees as well. So I'm going to take sap green now. Sap green is a natural color for the trees. This way and here as well. Next I'm just going to add dark tone in it using this deep green color. So notice the strokes I am applying, they are not straight. Alright, so now I'm going to start with the background here on these bushes. I'm going to take a little lemon yellow and a little bit of sap green color. So I'm going to start from here. So this is a different shade. I wanted to stand it out different from the trees. Like this. Then this ground part also can be done, so I'm going to use chrome yellow and a bit of yellow ochre. This is yellow ochre, and add a little water to it. So starting from here, I'm going on top of these legs because I want the coloring to be done quickly, because in elementary intermediate you have limited time of 2 hours only, so your coloring has to be quick and you have to find ways to make the coloring fast. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a few dark tones like this using raw sienna. So while it is wet, this will work. This way. Okay, now I'm going to color the roofs of the houses. So I'm going to take a little vermilion red. I don't want the vermilion red to be very fresh, so I'm just adding it in the yellow ochre color, raw sienna color that I had removed. So on this part as well. Like this. Next we can color the bridge. So for the bridge I'm going to take yellow burnt umber color. And I'm going to add a little bit of black to this color for this dark tone here below. Next I'm going to start coloring the ground part, the main ground here. So for that I'm going to take lemon yellow and sap green color. So I'll just remove some lemon yellow like this and some sap green. So this will be the base color. I'm going to do a little variations in the colors. So I'm going to just take a little more lemon yellow. Then I'm going to take a little more sap green. Then add a little bit of yellow ochre to it. So you can see that the shade is changing here. Again, I'm just taking lemon yellow and mixing it with this color. So just cover it all up like this. So once it's done, then we can start with these houses. Have a little violet color, which I can use a light wash for, like this. I can go more lighter. Then this house, you can color it with lemon yellow, this way. Then the bench, you can color it using a dark brown shade. Like this. Next, I'm going to color these fences. So for these fences, I'm going to use burnt umber. As you see, I'm using a dark color because I had applied a light wash of cobalt blue below. This way. I'm just going to take a little orange color and fill up this guy's shirt. cerulean blue for this pant. Next I'm going to color these hairs. So this is a dark blue and I'm adding a little burnt umber to it. So this will give me a dark shade. So with this dark shade I'm going to start coloring all these hairs. Just wash the brush, wipe it and do a little blending this way to show some shade and light and maybe some highlights in the hair like this. Now we have to do these yoga mats. So I'm going to take a slightly bigger brush and color. Now you have to see which colors you can repeat. I'm taking orange color here below. Next, below this mat I'm going to use a purple color. Be careful of these small edges. You have to make sure your finishing is good enough. Next I'm just adding a little dark tone, so I'm just adding this dark tone under this bodies for the shadow like this. Okay, so same dark tone I'm taking burnt sienna for a shadow here under the orange. And then finally for this mat I'm going to take red color. Okay, so next I'm just going to add a little dark tone here also. This way. Now these small figures are there. They can be colored using any dark color like this. I'm going to switch on to a smaller brush for the finishing and the details. just take the colors which are there in the palette at this stage. There is no need to remove any new color for this. So all these small details, all these roof lines are there. Here, this is the shadow of the roof. This is a big main tree here, so I'm just adding some dark tones on this part of the tree. Finally, I'm just going to do these fruits using a dark shade. Now for the last finishing touch, I'm going to use a small sized brush like this and take some deep green color and make some grass strokes like this all over. This can be done if there is some time left during the exam. If there are 5-6 minutes left, then you can add these details, because these details is what the painting will really stand out. So no need to do everywhere, so I'm just doing it on a front place like this, front side of the grass, and the back side I'm just doing these tiny strokes because you cannot have the same thickness of the grass everywhere. This is a distant area that you're doing, so I'm just using very few and thin strokes like this. Just making a little dark tone under the mat for the shadow effect.